Hey guys, this is Van, Kilo Mike 4, Kilo Bravo Sierra. Welcome back to the NVIS corner. Today, we're going to take the 60-meter dipole antenna, and we're going to raise up the center feed point at multiple lengths or heights, and to see how that has an impact on the standing wave ratio, SWR. So first up, I just got it installed, and so right now it's right around 2 meters above the ground, and I'll show the dimensions here in a minute. So let's take a look at the SWR sweeps and see how it has an impact on the resonance frequencies. All right, so once again, we have the center feed point of the 60-meter dipole raised up about 2 meters above the ground. We've installed the 14-foot crappie pole, fishing pole, and I've driven a piece of PVC pipe down into the ground that it sits on top of to act as a base. Got the coax cable ran over here to the table. Let's turn on the antenna analyzer and take a look at the frequency range. So last video we set up the 60-meter antenna, 60-meter dipole antenna horizontal at 3 feet 9 inches. I believe the SWR was 1.6 at 5.39 or so. So let's see what this one does. We're going to maintain the same center frequency of the center 60-meter band of 5.367, and we'll have 500 kilohertz on either side. So let's run the sweep. Okay, just by raising up the feed point to 2 meters above the ground, it's lowered the SWR to 1.37 at frequency 5.42 megahertz. And then at the center of the 60-meter band is 5.367, where we have a SWR reading of 1.41. So I'm going to leave it right there. Let's hook it up. But I think first I'm going to tweak the ends of the wire. Right now we're at the top of the poles, and I'm going to lower that down just to see what type of impact it has on the SWR. So at the top of the 4-foot poles, we're looking at 1.37 at a frequency of 5.42. Okay guys, at the end of the poles here, the end of each wire, I've lowered the wire down to the first rung of the stake here, which is about 16 inches above the ground, which is approximately 40 centimeters. So let's do another test. I've done this on both ends. So let's see what the SWR sweep does. All right, maintaining the same frequency and spacing. Let's see what the SWR sweep gives us at 16 inches above ground. All right, it looks like it's 1.52 SWR at 5.27 megahertz, which puts the center frequency of 1.68 SWR. All right, let's raise it up one and see what it changes to. All right, so here we are. We're at the other end of the wire pole. We've raised up the wire to the second rung, which is about 62 centimeters, which is right about 24, a little bit over 24 inches above the ground. Let's test this SWR sweep. Okay, here's the next test with the ends of the 60-meter antenna up at 24 inches or around 62 centimeters. Maintaining the same frequencies. Let's do the SWR sweep. All right, that's a little bit better of a low SWR at 1.48 at frequency 5.31, which puts the middle of the 60 meter band of 5367 at a 1.56 SWR. Let's raise it up a little bit more and see how it does. All right, here we are. We've now raised the ends of the 60 meter antenna to the third rung, which is right at 34 inches above the ground, which is, I believe, right about 84 centimeters. I'll put the dimensions there on the side so you can see the measurements. So we've done this on both ends. Let's do another SWR sweep. And here we still have the center feed point, a little above 6 feet, right about 2 meters. And we've got the ends raised up at 34 inches on either end of the dipole. Same frequencies. Let's see what the SWR sweep gives us. Sorry for the glare. All right, so that gives us a low SWR of 1.27 at 5.35 megahertz, and at the center frequency of the 60 meter band, 5.367 of 1.27. So that's right in the middle where we want it for the 60 meter band. So I think that's going to be the best option for the heights of the antennas. Let's hook it up to the Yaesu FT891 and get on the air. This is Kilo Mike 4, Kilo Bravo Sierra. Anybody listening again?
I sure am listening. W2GIO, Frank in Fishkill, New York. Go ahead.
Okay, very good. Good afternoon, Frank. The name here is Van, Victor Alpha November, and my call sign is Kilo Mike 4, Kilo Bravo Sierra. I'm currently located in Groton, Connecticut at a park, and I just built a 60 meter dipole antenna, and I've got it set up in a NVIS configurations with a center feed dipole about 6 feet up in the air and the ends down a little bit, so a slight inverted V. Trying to do some testing of antennas. How's the signal report?
Well, good 5.9 signal here. And, yep, so that's, you said Groton?
QSL, yes, I'm in Groton, Connecticut.
It's about, 120 miles from me, roughly? On the, sort of closer to the, east coast of, Connecticut. I used to go over to Norwich, so I know a little. Groton was sort of in the neighborhood. Go ahead.
Okay, guys, I've raised up the center feed point of the 60 meter dipole antenna to 10 feet above the ground. So let's see what type of impact that has on the SWR. The ends of the antenna are at the top of the 4-foot post, still maintaining same frequencies. And let's do the SWR sweep. Okay, that's moved the SWR further up in frequency to 5.422 megahertz with a SWR of 1.33. So I think what we need to do is shorten the lengths of the wire a few inches, and let's test it again. That has a center frequency of 5.367 with a SWR of 1.42. All right, guys, so with the feed point still up at 10 feet, I've lowered the ends down to the first rung on the poles, which I believe was 16 inches above ground. So let's see what that does for the SWR. Okay, that puts it at a resonant frequency of 5.317 with a SWR of 1.4, and the center of the 60 meter band at 5.367 with a SWR of 1.46. So it definitely changes the SWR a little bit as you raise and lower the ends, but seems like the 6 foot and the 10 foot is a good range to play with on trying to get resonant frequencies. Kilo Mike 4 Kilo Bravo Sierra.
Alright, the Kilo Bravo Sierra station, I hear you in there, Eric, I'll get back to you. Good evening, this is Chris, Kilo Delta 4 Hotel Charlie Uniform, located down near Moorhead City, in a town called Havelock, where the Cherry Point Marine Corps Air Station is.
Okay, very good. This is Kilo Mike 4 Kilo Bravo Sierra. The name here is Van Victor Alpha November, and I'm currently located in Groton, Connecticut. Groton, Connecticut. I'm up here on work assignment, testing out a new 60 meter NVIS antenna. Just came out here to the park and got the wire set up about 10 feet at the feed point, and the ends of the wire down in a inverted V configuration. What's the signal report?
We're about 5'8" here in the east coast of North Carolina. The band conditions aren't the best, I don't believe, but you sound nice and loud down here. We're running a 137-foot sloper up almost 100 to the top and down at about 25 at the bottom, and it seems to be working fair here. And Eric, how are you doing this? KE8ULR. Good evening, Eric. Yeah, I can hear everybody, but they must have some trouble hearing me. I hear the Connecticut station in Groton, and I hear Russ, I think that's you, and maybe Chris. I heard him too. But good evening from Ohio. Good to hear everyone. Your week?